Good morning, Jane Benjamin. Evening, wherever you are in the world. We'll be getting started here at the top of the hour. Welcome, Dwight, to the Zoom. We'll begin started here in about 15 minutes, sir. 15 minutes.
Thank you.
Hello, sir.
Welcome.
Awesome. Your team is early. Wow.
I think that's your team.
Are they? Hello, everybody.
They all came to see the famous Prem Johol from the UK.
I don't know what makes me famous. If you said good looking, then I would agree with you.
But good looking too, brother. Good looking too. So you see, I was able to give you co-host abilities.
Yeah, so your setup is different to my setup. I have no idea how.
Yeah.
And wow, you've got a lot more options in here. Maybe I need to upgrade my system or something.
Oh, I've got more options.
Yeah, it says live transcript, breakout rooms. There are a couple of extra tabs.
Oh, wow. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't have that. So I'll look into it. I'm switching my laptop. Everything I've got on this, I'm moving into a new one. So this one is the past old history, and I can just discard it then.
We're good. Well, maybe when you download the app onto the new system, maybe all these features will pop up, but I don't know. I've never used half of them. Like the breakout rooms, I heard that's a good feature to use like after a meeting like this so the leaders can go and do things and training and stuff, but I haven't used any of it.
Right.
Mhm.
There we go. Okay.
Ellen Dickey, welcome to the Zoom. Jeffrey, welcome to the Zoom. Dwight, Gail Moreland, welcome to the Zoom. And Jane Benjamin, welcome to the Zoom. Feel free to put in the chat box where you zooming in from and who invited you. We'll be getting started here in about 10 short minutes. So you've got a few minutes to get on the phone, call a few people, send out a few texts, get on Facebook, invite a few people. You've got 10 minutes to get all that done. Time is money, and you've got 10 minutes of time left.
Awesome.
Bob Garner, if that is you on the saxophone, you look vastly different, brother. Bob, was that you in that picture?
Has an entire custom closet with stuff. And meanwhile, my guys are just getting started installing a kitchen backsplash.
Welcome, Zoom user, to the Zoom. I'm glad to have you here. Bob, what's going on with you, buddy? You look scared. Let me see something. All participants on entry. They're slowly trickling in, slowly trickling in. Brad Ball, welcome to the zone, brother. Welcome to the zone.
Thank you, Easy.
My pleasure, man. Glad you're here.
Me too, brother.
August, welcome to the Zoom. Glad you're here. Feel free to put in the chat box where you're zooming in from and who invited you.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, hello, hello. Bob, everything all right for you, brother? You can't hear anything. You must have the volume down on your computer.
Yeah, or something else, because we can hear each other loud and clear.
Yeah, yeah. Benjamin Funch, welcome to the Zoom. Jerry Lacey, welcome to the Zoom. Prophet Bobby Walker, welcome to the Zoom. Man, if you're a prophet, you must know exactly where this coin is going.
That's what I was thinking.
Yes, sir.
Tell
All
us
right.
more. Tell us more.
Stick around and watch it happen.
You got it, brother. You got it, brother. Eddie Benucci, welcome to the Zoom. Looking forward to seeing you in Cancun too. Got about 5 more minutes. Let them trickle on. Anna from Dominica, welcome to the Zoom.
Thank you.
Gail Moreland is from Fort Worth, Texas. Ryan Coote, welcome to the Zoom, brother. Great picture. Jeff Green, welcome to the Zoom. Still trickling in. Nikisha Bramwell, glad you're here.
Thank
Carla,
you.
crazy and blessed, welcome to the Zoom. Captain Marvel, welcome to the Zoom. It is 7:57. We'll start a little bit after 8, Prem, give everybody time to get here.
Sure. Oh yeah, you're Central Time, right? So this is 9 p.m. Eastern.
Correct,
All right, right.
correct. I think the whole world should be on Texas time, but that's because I'm a Texan.
It's the center of the world. Yeah, I've heard that
Center of the
before.
world. You know how we think over here in this country, man.
Yes.
The whole world revolves around us. Dale Palmgren, welcome to the Zoom, as well as Karen Murphy. And then you, the everlasting at AOL.com. Welcome to the Zoom.
Thank you for that welcome.
Glad to have you here. Sherma, welcome to the Zoom. Nancy, oh, so that's who you are. Okay, Nancy, oh, gotcha. Feel free to put in the chat box where you're zooming in from and who invited you. If it's your first time here, welcome. If it's your second time here, welcome. If you've been there 5,000 times, you're still welcome to come for 5,001. Sean Coates, welcome to the Zoom. Denise Holden, welcome to the Zoom. The Galaxy A12, who is in by cell phone, welcome to the Zoom. Big time MMA star LaRon Huff. MMA star is money-making activity. The brother does not stop building no matter where he is, no matter what he's doing, working out of his car. He is always moving forward. Love that about that brother, man. Welcome to the Zoom. Michelle Z, welcome to the Zoom today.
Thank you.
Here we go. Carlos Gonzalez, welcome to the Zoom. Sherma was invited by Webster and it is her first time. We are really glad to have you here. Good job, Webster, for inviting you. Karen Murphy is coming via from Washington, D.C. I love it. Ryan Coot was invited by David Roos. First time here, welcome to the Zoom. Glad you're here. Tony Willis, iPhone 2 David, Zona, David Lechner, Robbie Walls, you're always welcome. Sabrina on the iPhone. Slimani, welcome to the Zoom. All of you, glad you guys are here. We're getting started here in just about 2 more minutes and 22 seconds. 2 minutes, 22 seconds. You got 2 minutes, 22 seconds to get on the phone and call a few more people, text a few more people. You can send something by snail mail. Won't get there in 2 minutes, 22 minutes, but they'll be ready by next week. Feel free to invite everybody. Let's see, Sabrina, Dan Clemente, Ryan Log, I think that's how you pronounce that. Justinia Joseph, welcome to the Zoom. Glad you guys are all here. Gonna give it 1 more minute, 1 more minute only. In the meantime, glad you guys are all here. I'm going to mute everyone out. Let's see. It's not that many before we get started. Great, 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 great. Michelle Lopez, welcome to the Zoom. Michael Peterson, welcome to the Zoom. Are you still connecting to audio? Welcome to the Zoom. Outstanding. So real quick, guys, I'm gonna say, I've got a couple of housekeeping items for you. First of all, if you've got questions, just kind of hold off to the end and let the presenter that we've got present everything. But don't forget what your question is, so write it down. The second thing is, I don't care how long you've been part of the WCL, whether it's 1 minute, 1 day, 1 week, or 9 months like I have. If you're a little shy, a little bit nervous, but you got questions, you need to get them answered, If you don't want to speak it by unmuting yourself at the end, feel free to put it in the chat box and let us address it. So without further ado, tonight we're in for a really, really special treat. For those of you guys that don't know, for many of you guys, I was the first person, your first exposure to WCL. My first exposure to WCL came from the speaker that I'm going to present to you all this evening. This man is a 4-star with WCL. He's been in it from the very, very beginning. He's seen how it started. And I think when he started, it was less than 3,000 people, I think, in the entire company. And the fact that he built an amazing team over in the UK and globally is a testament to his leadership. Now, when I first talked to Prem, Johol, we had this idea. This is kind of like an exchange student type of thing. Earlier in the day, I was on his presentation. I gave the presentation for his audience. I invited him to come on and speak to our audience. So you guys can get a little bit different flavor, a little bit different feel. But I have a lot of respect. I got a lot of admiration for this man. So let me tell you a little bit just about him before he tells you a little bit about himself. First of all, the guy knows crypto. When I got into this space, I knew a few things about crypto that other people didn't know, but this man knows cryptos, he knows charts, he knows the analytics behind it. So if you're looking to get a lot of information, you're in the right spot. If you're looking to have a lot of fun, he's got to make you laugh a little bit. So you're in the right spot. If you're in it because you like helping people, he's going to show you how it is that we do that. And if you're in it because you want to make money, he's going to show you how we do that as well. So without further ado, let me get out of the way of greatness and present to you and introduce to others, Mr. Prem Johol from across the pond in the UK, WCL 4-star superstar, leader of the galaxy. Mr. Prem Johol, take it away, sir.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I mean, you know, when you put someone on a pedestal, it's easy for that person to fall down. Okay, so please keep your expectations low. The words were exceeding my real capacity, to be honest. But thank you for the introduction, Eric. And welcome, everybody. Hope you'll get a slightly different flavor. The reason being, I know already now because Mr. Carter presented for our team, our audience, 5 hours ago, and they got to see a brand new presentation. It was something they hadn't seen before, and they really loved it and got lots of positive feedback. So what we're going to do is do something different for you maybe today so that you get a different flavor and you see how we do things across the pond. So by way of introduction, I started my banking career. I'm an economist. I started my banking career with an American institution called Merrill Lynch. I got myself Series 7, Series 3 qualified. I was able to trade most of the financial products in the USA, being in London. But being in London, I could also trade around the world. So financial products and services is part and parcel of what my career was part of. A heavy emphasis in financial services is to pay attention to the laws, to the regulation, to compliance. You can't be doing stuff that you're not supposed to be doing. If it falls within the regulatory framework, then you stick with that. And that's very important to me because as it stands right now, I do have an offer from a Swiss bank to head up their cryptocurrency desk, international cryptocurrency desk out of London. And that's a really great offer. But I'll be honest with you, I don't know about you, but I just love waking up whenever I want to wake up. I shouldn't have to be under pressure. And tomorrow morning, for example, or rather this morning, for me, it's 2 a.m. in the morning. By the time this call is finished, it might as well be 4 a.m. I don't mind staying on for a couple of hours if there are question and answers and discussion, etc. Anything to help support you. But if I'm going to bed at 4 a.m., I can't be in a job that makes me get up early in the morning and then get onto the train and then do the rat race, go into the London Underground, you go under the ground, and then you're traveling on the tube, and then you're coming back out again. And by the time I get back, it's 10 o'clock, your life is consumed by a job, and you're always having somebody breathing down your neck, and that's no longer a lifestyle I want to get back into. Although it's great to have that offer. Now, that offer is a good thing to have because I have tried my very best, even when I wasn't doing well financially in sense of getting a regular income stream coming in. Even in dark days, if you maintain your integrity, it really pays back at some point. And WCL has shown me that payback is coming, and I'm getting paid, and I'm getting paid really well in this company, because I put my reputation, I put my credibility and my integrity behind this company. And I didn't do it lightly. When I joined, there was only about, not 3,000, there's only a couple of dozen people in the company. There weren't many at all. I was the first non-US affiliate. And the people that referred me in, they had no idea what we were able to do. And next thing you know, we've got all of Greece and Cyprus in one part of the team. We've got the Far East, Indonesia, Malaysia, Singapore. We've got an African team. We've got a Caribbean team. And of course, we've got parts of the USA and parts of Canada and United Kingdom, of course. But this only happens because this business has been developed on a very simple principle. I learned this from an American couple, Don and Nancy Faya, and they're very successful network marketers. Some of the classic network marketers here will recognize the name very easily. And what Don and Nancy mentioned on a webinar I attended a few years ago is they built an 800,000 strong organization with just two people, right? So I thought, well, okay, if the principle works, then let's do it like that. So our team right now, in number of positions, we've just crossed about 6,000, but some people have multiple positions, so it's actually a lot less in number in actual people. And the team that experienced the sort of growth we've got in the team is because the method is very simple. You immediately, when you've introduced somebody to the business, you work with them as if you want them to succeed as much as you want to succeed yourself. And once that level is crossed, then comes the next level and the next level and the next level. And you just keep going, because the idea of the compensation plan we're about to present to you is that you get paid anyway if there is business being done. So if that is the case, you don't need to be a great, big, massive recruiter. You just need to find a small number of quality people who are then hungry and have the appetite to actually duplicate the business, and duplication is the key. That being said, I'm going to quickly share my screen, if that's okay. What we'll do is we'll keep question and answer session for later on. Please feel free. I insist, if you have any doubts, concerns, or if there's anything troubling you, please discuss it here and now, because if we can deal with it, it serves two purposes. First of all, we're not in a leadership position. We were just there a little bit earlier than you, okay? So for example, if you have an ice cream van coming down the road, the children that are prepared with the change in their pocket, they get to be there first in line and get the ice cream they want. The people that come in a little later have to make do with whatever is left because there's a limited supply. This is always the principle of any business. If you're quick and in position and ready to go, the moment you hear the opportunity calling, you need to be out there and taking advantage of it. If you did that, that simply means that you have an experience that you can share with others. And that's all we're doing. We're sharing our own experience in the company. There are no special skills needed. There is no, you don't need to be a technology whiz or anything. And I will break it down for you that cryptocurrency is actually very straightforward and very simple. It sounds a lot jargony, but it isn't. So let me just quickly share this and we will answer your questions later on. But to begin with, if I could just run past the actual state of the market right now, coinmarketcap.com is a very good reference site. And here you will see listed the rank number 1 Bitcoin, and then you have rank number 2 Ethereum. We'll talk about how to explore this website more efficiently. But if I just scroll, here is the rank number 100, something called Horizon, whatever that is, I don't know. But rank number 100, and there are 66 more pages. That suggests that there's over 6,500 to 7,000 cryptocurrency tokens out there listed on just this website. And that's a lot of crypto to wade through. I mean, how on earth do you know which one to pick? I mean, if you're a sushi lover, should you be buying Sushi Swap just for that? Or is there actually any common sense or any technology advantage why you should be getting into any of this? But that's another point. We'll just get back to how to read this website in a very simple way. You've got Bitcoin listed here as rank number 1 at $849 billion market cap. This has come down a little bit. It had crossed $1 trillion US dollars in market cap. When it crossed $1 trillion in market cap, it was already bigger than the currency of your northern neighbor, Canada. Yes, it was bigger than the Canadian dollar. If Bitcoin reaches $60,000 in price, then the overall market capitalization of Bitcoin will be greater than the Great British Pound, which before the dollar was the dominant reserve currency of the whole world. So think about it, in just 9 to 10 years, look at the speed at which Bitcoin has surged ahead. Another thing to look at is when you look at circulating supply, you see sometimes this little gray bar here at the bottom. It simply tells you there is a total supply. If I just click on this information icon here, bear with me, it should pop up. Yeah, there you go. There's a maximum supply of 21 million Bitcoin and a current circulating supply of 18.815 million Bitcoin. This suggests that this token has a limited supply. As with anything that is in limited supply, it creates scarcity. If it creates scarcity, it is the opposite of what the private family-owned company you call the Federal Reserve has been doing. They just push a button and print trillions of dollars. If you didn't know, the Federal Reserve is a private family-owned company and one of the largest institutions in the world that refuses to be audited. The audacity of governments to take advantage of people by showing us one thing and doing the exact opposite. Whereas cryptocurrency is people-oriented. Bitcoin was created by somebody, whoever that somebody may be is irrelevant, but the idea was that it was handed back to the users to become the co-owners. Same with Ethereum, the number 2 cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrencies are divided into 2 main groups. Some are mined and some are not mined. In this case, Ethereum used to be mined. It's no longer mined, and they just passed a resolution. They, as in the majority people involved in Ethereum. That could be anybody from anywhere. And this is what is so beautiful about cryptocurrency. You know, if somebody went to jail for some kind of wrongdoing, and in jail they repented, they changed their heart, they wanted to make a new life for themselves, and they've decided that they've had enough of a criminal life. They just want to make a fresh start, have a new break, but the system doesn't allow it, because the moment they're out, every employer is going to check their record. They're not going to get straight away some kind of high paying job. They're going to have to make do with whatever they get at the mercy of a benevolent employer that is willing to employ an ex-convict. And this is something that is a human flaw where we start judging people, no matter how much their heart has changed, no matter what repentance they have gone through. There is a lot of judgment there. Who is the government to give you a credit score when they themselves are running into $22 trillion of debt? They've got more borrowing than they've got money in the pocket. And yet they are the ones deciding your credit score. Are you serious? So this is the same logic that applies to cryptocurrency. If you take away that judgment and the politics and all the bureaucracy and the slow moving procedures passed by endless debates by politicians and lawmakers, get rid of all of that and you get the cryptocurrency environment. There is a reason, ladies and gentlemen, why cryptocurrency is worth $2 trillion today. And if in 10 years something can grow to $2 trillion without any borrowing attached to it, it is already worth the actual net worth of the United States alone. Think about it. Just think about it. What's US GDP minus outstanding debt? You subtract the two and you get very little. Here you've got a growing environment which is terrifying the banks. It is panicking the governments because this is driven by we the people. There cannot be a better way to express yourself as a rebellion against the control systems the governments have placed upon us. Now, without getting too political about it, if you notice, Bitcoin is number 1, Ethereum is number 2, Cardano ADA is number 3. Guess what? Our opportunity gives you the ability to earn the number 2 and number 3 cryptocurrencies on the planet on a daily basis. Daily meaning Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific time, where some of the staff are based in Los Angeles. So Los Angeles is one hub where a lot of people belonging to the company, they live and work from there. And instead of taking your tax paid dollars, and that's an important concept to grasp, every time you spend a dollar, if it's a tax paid dollar, you're actually spending $1.30, $1.40, $1.50, whatever your tax bracket, whatever the taxation levels you end up paying for your salary range, right? It varies from place to place. I don't know what your situation is, but here in the United Kingdom, if I'm spending a single British pound on even a coffee, it's actually, I've had to earn £1.40, pay 40 pence in tax, and the balance remaining is what I'm spending. Whereas, why would you want to spend your tax earned income when you've got bills to pay, a household to run, groceries to buy? If you have children, you've got new clothes and replacement things. You've got your home to fix, and there's so many other expenses. Keep your dollars for that. This opportunity gives you an opportunity. This is the opportunity where you basically earn money so that you can take that money and go and then diversify into Ethereum and Cardano to begin with. And thereafter, and this is exactly what I've done. I've been doing this. I joined the company on the 3rd of November when the first links were even available. And since then, it's been a fairly good income. But what I've done is all the withdrawals I've made from the company in Ethereum and Cardano, I've simply diversified them. So I've got a bunch of Solana, I've got Polkadot, stay away from that. I've got some Terra, I've got Uniswap, and I've just added and built a portfolio by taking out what the company pays and then spreading it around and creating a nice little package, because you never know which one of these is really suddenly going to take off, because a lot of them have very credible engineering projects behind them. That is just a general overview of the crypto market. I would like to take you to another website called coin.dance. And this is a very good information website where you can just have a look at it, explore all the different tabs, see what it means. If you don't understand it, don't worry. gradually, if you see it long enough, gradually you will begin to become familiar with some of this technical jargon. But what I want to really show you is politics and opinion. Click on that. And when you get to politics and opinion, go to legality by country. And in legality by country, you'll get a whole list of countries. I didn't even know Abkhazia was a country. I thought that was just from that Tom Hanks movie, Stuck in an airplane terminal. But anyway, apparently it's legal in Abkhazia, but illegal in Afghanistan, although Afghanistan knows that it's a currency, whereas Abkhazia doesn't give any information on how they classify it. But you can look up alphabetically all the different countries and what they think about it. Obviously, when you see something in red, that is restricted in China, but they classify it as a commodity. Some others call it a currency. So you've got a choice between commodity, currency, and in case of the United States, you will find way down here at the bottom, you will find USA calls it a property, I believe. So there we go. Where's the US flag? There you go, United States of America, perfectly legal, that's Bitcoin, and it's classified as a property. This is amazing that it's classified as a property, not as currency or commodity. Why? Because this is where our story begins. And this is why I'm here. This is why Mr. Carter even invited me here. This is why Mr. Carter is here. This is why all of us are here. So first of all, let's meet Mark Gordon. Mark Gordon is the governor of the state of Wyoming. You're more familiar with Wyoming than I am. 6 months of the year, it's a frozen wasteland. The other 6 months, it's one of the most beautiful states or landscapes anywhere in the world. But Yellowstone National Park as a tourism source of income isn't enough. And for a Native American reservation state, Wyoming just doesn't generate enough revenue. It cannot compete with Las Vegas, Nevada, for gambling and those kind of activities, because Las Vegas, Nevada, they have better weather than Wyoming, so they can do business all year round. But you can't do that in Wyoming. So he comes up with a genius idea. He pulls in Wall Street bankers from New York, and he pulls in securities attorneys, and he puts them under one roof, and he says, you guys start writing brand new laws, and we will see to it that these laws make Wyoming one of the most crypto-friendly places on planet Earth. We need to generate revenue for the state, and we want to be friendly towards this new phenomenon that has already grown to become $2 trillion in total market cap. And there are 6,000 different projects. Imagine the number of technology guys and engineers and investors and people backing those different projects. Okay, a lot of them are nonsense projects, by the way. Not all of them are credible, but a few of them are really worth paying attention to. And that's why there is a ranking system in market capitalization. So what happens is, because of Mark Gordon and his team of new lawmakers, one of them was Caitlin Long. Please look her up. She's a very clever lady, really admirable. Caitlin Long is a Wall Street banker, and she's a contributor to Forbes magazine, although I don't rate Forbes personally, but she is a contributor there nevertheless. And she's given you a breakdown here and what do Wyoming's 13 new blockchain laws actually mean, and what does it even, why is it even important? She wrote this article more than 2 years ago. These laws, most of them, were only passed last year in September 2020. So if you did a simple Google search and just say Wyoming crypto laws, and you can find reams and reams of articles in here. Caitlin Long on Fortune, this is the link you just saw. And then there are others talking about it. And then there are just pages and pages of these kind of articles, okay? So this is something that you can do in your spare time. Just read up a little bit and get yourself informed, because knowledge is ammunition, right? And we are at war for financial survival in the middle of this lockdown and economy downturns and politicians ruining everything every step of the way. Everything is a mess. The whole world is turning crazy. And in the midst of this, surely it is better to have some wealth than not to have it. Not having wealth doesn't give you many options, but cryptocurrency opens the door for anyone. It doesn't matter what your background is, what your credentials are, what school or university you went to, what family you were born in, whether you were born with a silver spoon or whether under difficult circumstances. It makes no difference. Cryptocurrency is a great neutralizer, just as the internet has become a great communicator, that I can sit here near London in England and still talk to you all the way across the United States. Now, for our own team, we have a training website. You can also, by all means, please make use of it if you need it. It's called WCLallstars.com. And this is literally, much of this is my wording. This is, I write the way I speak. So therefore, everything written here is exactly how I would basically express myself. But my friend in Canada, he put the website together because I'm not very technical. However, what we do is we focus and emphasize a lot in our team building on understanding the laws of Wyoming, and also stressing the fact that these laws aren't just some tin pot laws. Here you've got NASDAQ commenting on it. Here you've got Carlton Fields, the law firm, commenting on it. You've got Hogan Lovells, the University of Wyoming starting a whole blockchain related program, various opinion pieces across the sphere. This is simply so people can read and become better informed. Even if the language is a little bit jargony and a little bit difficult, it's okay. Just read through it, and eventually something or the other will fall in place. And because I'll be very honest with you, that's exactly what happened with me. In the beginning, somebody said blockchain, and it didn't even register with me what on earth they're talking about. If they had simply said a sales register, that would make sense. Because, you know, the old fashioned registers, like you do in Little House on the Prairie, you know, oh, this one owes me this much and this one owes me that much and I spent so much or whatever. That is a simple ledger, a book, a notebook. And that's what the blockchain really is in many ways. And, you know, when somebody uses these technology words, I was thrown back. I took time, I kept reading, and eventually the picture began to build. And that's how it is if you don't have a personal coach or mentor. When I started doing this, I was on my own, just only 4 or 5 years ago. And this is, most people have exactly the same experience. You have to get stuck into it, read more and more. And I can assure you, I love the Marvel franchise, all the movies and all that. I love watching those with my children. But when I'm doing that, it doesn't make me any money. So I start doing this instead in my own time. And this has started making money. So it was worth investing in this rather than entertainment, because entertainment is the great killer of a free thinking society. So that being said, I would like to take you through government bill, House Bill number 0062. This is literally from the state of Wyoming, 66th legislature. And this is what has changed everything. So remember when I mentioned that it's very interesting that in the United States that cryptocurrency or Bitcoin is regarded as property, Wyoming has actually gone a step ahead. And what they've done is, I'll read out in the summary here, and then we'll break down this statement. It says, this act classifies certain open blockchain tokens or utility tokens with consumptive characteristics as intangible personal property, and provides that these tokens are not subject to a securities exemption. So let's break it down into normal people language, because this is all lawyer language. Like, so this act is telling you that some of these cryptos, not all of them, but some of these cryptocurrencies that can be used, consumed, or somehow devoured or that have some application are nothing more than intangible personal property. Now, I don't know what kind of brands you like, but hey, if you have Manolo Blahnik shoes, some of the ladies, they like their shoes, or if you have a Rolex watch or whatever, a Swiss watch of any kind, it is personal property. So even if you inherit a piece from a family, it is personal property. And until you sell it, it cannot be taxed, because how on earth do you tax a physical item, right? Designer shoes or some expensive item of jewelry, antiques, whatever. You can't tax it. So it is personal property. But because cryptocurrency cannot be physically held in your hand, it can be stored in a mobile phone that can be held in your hand. It can be stored in a wallet that can be held in your hand. But the currency itself is meant to be purely digital, just like email. And by the time you print email, it comes onto a piece of paper, but then it's no longer email, because you can't take that piece of paper and shove it back into the laptop. So therefore, intangible is a brilliant redefinition that was logical, but waiting to happen. And nobody else had done it so far until Wyoming comes along and does this. And by the way, if Wyoming says this is law, it is applicable across the United States, because all you have to do is go to Wyoming and do the business. But you don't physically have to go to Wyoming. You use the internet, travel into a Wyoming company using cyberspace/internet, do your business and come back out again. It's no different than driving into Nevada, going to Las Vegas, doing your casino business. And as soon as you leave, your casino chips are no longer valid outside of the casino. They're only valid inside the casino, right? So you've not broken any laws. You've not done anything wrong. Anybody from anywhere in the world can take advantage of Wyoming using cyberspace and the legal entity set up in Wyoming. This is what makes our company so powerful. I dare say we do not have any other company in competition that is both cryptocurrency oriented and a multi-level marketing income generating opportunity and is USA registered. Because the tragedy has been that over the last, ever since I've been active in cryptocurrency, a lot of the fantastic international projects, they did not offer their tokens to American people for fear of a 3-letter government agency called the SEC. And if they tried to offer it, the SEC would very happily slap a cease and desist order, because the SEC wants everything to be controlled by the SEC, except for the banks, of course. When the banks are out of control, they just slap a few $1 billion or fine on them, and then they share their fine money amongst themselves. It's an incestuous relationship the securities regulator and the banking industry have. I've been a Merrill Lynch and Swiss banker myself. I can tell you the banks and the regulators, they're in bed with each other, because the regulators look forward to getting nice juicy positions in the banks, and the bankers, they like to treat the regulator like, hey, let's, yeah, it's corrupt. It's utterly corrupt. But we don't need to get into any of that. Here is Wyoming saying, hey, your crypto could be an intangible personal property, therefore tax efficient. And this project, or our project, does not need to be subject to a securities exemption. What does that mean? It means we don't have to go begging and pleading to the 3-letter government agencies to say, oh, please, can we come and sell our tokens to your people? We don't even have to do that, because it's not even a security. It's not even a security. It's nothing but an intangible personal property. It's not their jurisdiction. Off you go. So that being said, the company itself has a fantastic training website. Obviously, we try to replicate it, but for our team, yet the company has its own. It's called WCLonthego.info. Please do look it up when you get a chance. And fantastic promotions taking place here. You will see the sheer success that this company has generated in just 10 months. Look just how many people you see here that are achieving ranks. And I believe this is not updated, but Easy is all alone here. Oh, don't worry, Easy, I'll be joining you soon. So I'm the second 4-star besides the existing 5-star members in the team, but I'm the first outside the USA. Of course, you have to acknowledge that when we're dealing with a lot of large numbers of people from poorer countries, they cannot come in with big bucks. Americans, guys, you have no idea the advantage you've got, because Americans are big spenders. Americans go all in when they do. So, hey, this is a fantastic opportunity to take advantage of. But before I get into the company presentation, I recognize we are 40 minutes in and I've not even started the company presentation. I want to show you Richard Slater. He is the CEO of our legal entity, IM Fin Services LLC, registered in Wyoming. He's got 30 years of experience. And by the fact that he's got his bar admissions intact in the State Bar of Wyoming, State Bar of Colorado, as well as the United States Court of Federal Claims, that tells you he's a clean and good lawyer, a good attorney, and he's got blockchain and initial coin offering experience. And so he's the right person to work with us. And what we do is, I mean, the reason I'm here and talking with such great confidence is because we don't just stop there. You go look it up. What is this IM Fin Services? And you'll find the company here. It's a limited liability company formed over a year ago, registered at the address where actually our parts of our company are registered. It is indeed the same Richard C. Slater, and it's the same address. And then you can even look it up even further on literally on the Wyoming Secretary of State website and make sure that this company is in good standing and that all the address and all the details match and the people involved are indeed the people who say they are. Because cryptocurrency has seen a number of scams. We want to stay away from those scams. If that wasn't enough, we were able to find that the owner of the company is also properly duly registered. So again, open corporates, the owner of the company, the main person, chief executive, the chairman of the company is Mr. Richard Kwang-gyun Pyo of South Korean origin, but lives in Beverly Hills. We hope to see him at the company event in Mexico next week. And if you wanted to drill deeper, no problem. Just keep looking and you will find only confirmation that everything is clean and legit. So that's the California Secretary of State website. Here you will see Mr. Kwang-gyun Pyo is indeed the owner of our California-based legal entity called Master & S Inc. And this entity works seamlessly with this entity. And how are they related? Now for that, we're going to go into the company presentation. So bear with me, I'm just going to pull up the corporate presentation here. So World Crypto Life, ladies and gentlemen, is the business opportunity, but this by no means is the main business. This is just the label or the brand we give to the group of people that have something in common. That's you and me, okay? The company is much bigger than this. What is much bigger than World Crypto Life? Well, we've got our own exchange called the IM Exchange, which is a world-class cryptocurrency platform. We have a special global debit card, which is very important because a lot of debit cards are not internationally applicable. We have a bunch of other infrastructure-based companies, and all this will come together in a moment. But what happens here is multi-level marketing or network marketing is not for everybody, especially for traders. Traders, they just want to trade on an exchange without offending any traders. But some of the traders are like mid-40s, still live in their mother's basement, have 6 screens and haven't seen the sun in 3 years. That's the image I have of traders because I used to be one myself. And they don't necessarily like multi-level marketing because they just like numbers and screens instead of dealing with people. But if you're a people person and if you're chatty and if you're willing to talk to people, then World Crypto Life is the MLM based on other ecosystems. Ecosystem simply meaning a reason to exist and provide a commercial function. Now, as far as World Crypto Life is concerned, our mission is very simple. As I mentioned, there are 6,500 odd cryptocurrencies, but the vast majority of them don't actually have any practical, regular use. If they're just sat there in a wallet and you can't do much with it, and if they've crashed in price and then you have to wait for weeks and months before they even recover, before you can sell them, and even when you sell them, what are you getting in replacement for them? So the idea of World Crypto Life is to give you a real crypto lifestyle so that you can use your cryptocurrency or your cryptocurrency derived income anytime, anywhere, locally, globally, online or offline. There are no other circumstances in which you would need money. These are the situations where money should be usable. If it is yours, you should be able to spend it and expedite whatever your requirements are at the time. So this is how basic setup. The company is very, very simple. If you've found the previous explanation a little bit confusing or distracting, let me bring it home here. This is how simple it is. We have our own crypto called IMC. IMC is a simple Ethereum-based cryptocurrency because we don't need it to be any more complicated. It only has a very limited function. The limited function of IMC is to get to the exchange or back to the wallet, from the wallet back to the exchange, and back and forth, back and forth. That's the maximum distance of travel it's got. So it doesn't need to be an overly engineered, scientific or technological marvel. It's enough to have an Ethereum-based token. The exchanges where everything's going on, because we already, I can see already certain governments sending letters out to their exchanges and saying, we need to tighten this up, folks. And those exchanges are panicking. And when those exchanges are looking for another reliable, stable platform, they see the IM Exchange. The IM Exchange built on the laws of Wyoming, ring fence protected by Wyoming. And by the way, those laws were passed with full majority. So none of the Wyoming legislators were against the idea. They all just love it. So we have some really strong foundations. Now, when other cryptocurrency exchanges get a little shaky or they get threatened by different governments, guess what? They're going to look for us to come and list all their coins. And it won't take much for us to become a major force in the world of different exchanges. However, let me show you something here real quick. Number 5 here is Binance Coin. This is the biggest exchange in the world, the Binance Exchange. Right now, $67 billion. It dropped $1 billion literally 5 hours ago. It was at 68. Mr. Carter was on the same call and it was 68 then. And it's dropped $1 billion in literally 5 hours. Okay, not a problem. Once upon a time, it was at rank number 3 and it was $89 billion. And that once upon a time is not like fairy tale 1,000 years ago. That was only 3 months ago. So this kind of movement happens in crypto all the time. But this exchange itself is not half as legit and stable as we have a potential of being, just because of the people in Wyoming. So we have a real chance to look at a potential multi-billion-dollar project going forward. And just by being holders of the IMC coin, we are at the very, very beginning. We are literally in a private sale. We are the first people to be invited. Never mind the compensation plan. If you buy these IMC coins before they are even out there in the market, available to the general public, you have already won because you were in the door before the rest of them. You are one of those kids that is organized and at the ice cream van before the rest of the crowd follows. So you can really take advantage of what follows after that. Now, the exchange is connected to the Bank of America global debit card, but Bank of America being a bit of a dinosaur and my former employer, because when I left the Swiss bank and went back to Merrill Lynch, 2008, 2009, the financial crash happened and Bank of America took over Merrill Lynch. And frankly, they just ruined it. And my impression of Bank of America is not very good because they just mismanaged. In my way of thinking, Merrill Lynch was a castle, and Bank of America were the farmers that couldn't handle the castle, and they just ran it into the ground. So it's great that we have a Bank of America card, but honestly speaking, I wish there was a better, more global alternative for all of us. Bank of America is great to have, fine, no problem, but I'm not overly impressed with this. But it's still much better than many others, because others don't even have a bank talking to them. And you don't get a large organization, the largest retail bank in North America and the second largest bank by market cap. You don't get Bank of America dealing with some tin pot company without doing their due diligence. So if our due diligence wasn't enough, the fact that Bank of America agreed to get into a deal to offer cards for our members with IMC Exchange, that alone should tell you or inform you right now that Bank of America would have done their portion of the due diligence. So that's great in and of itself. But there's another thing. IMC also converts into something called G points. Now, what is a G point? Well, it's a digital voucher, right? So let me just take you back to the laws of Wyoming, if I can just find that bill here. Now, we had a look at the summary of the bill, but look at the text of the bill, and what it says here is very, very simple. Open blockchain tokens with specified consumptive purposes are similar to loyalty programs operated by many businesses today. So all they're saying is, hey, if Amazon can issue Amazon vouchers, and if your favorite grocery store, retailer, or whatever is giving you loyalty reward points so that you keep going back to the same. And here in the United Kingdom, even Starbucks offers a little cardboard card where you can just stamp a coffee. And every time you get a coffee, you get a few stamps. And then the final one is free. It's got value, right? Because the final coffee, I didn't have to pay for it. So if so many companies are already running loyalty reward programs, why can't cryptocurrency companies do the same thing? And that's exactly what's been happening over here. IMC converts into our own loyalty reward point called a G point, but G point's price has been fixed at $1. Now watch this. If I just show you, here is USD Tether, a cryptocurrency that is a stable coin, meaning it's usually only supposed to be worth $1, maybe 1 cent more, 1 cent less, but it's usually $1. Even the Tether has a maximum supply of 68,261,000,000 coins. So 68 billion will be the maximum value of USD Tether. However, in our case, because ours is not a stable coin cryptocurrency, instead ours is a digital voucher taking advantage of the laws of Wyoming, we could be worth $1 trillion, hopefully, maybe not too ambitious. So let's scale it back a little, but we can expand as much as the ecosystem expands. So this gives us unlimited expansion potential in terms of how many dollars have flown into our system and how many dollars are actually being used in our system. Whereas IMC has a limited supply of only 300 million, like every cryptocurrency should. A limited supply creates scarcity. So you've got scarcity here and an unlimited growth potential here, and the two work together because one converts into the other and the other converts into one. How beautiful is that? Nobody yet has come up with this kind of a genius system. Whoever put this together, like whatever team put this brainstorming thing together, have got to be amazing. Anyway, that Binance exchange I mentioned, we're actually in alliance with them. So the architect of Binance has been working on this project as well. But we have a strength that many others will be envious of. We are properly launched from the state of Wyoming, and that's why Wyoming is and will remain a big deal. So that being said, Bank of America card, like I said, it's great if you have a card that can allow you an ATM withdrawal up to $1,000 a day, but it's a debit card. So you've got to have income in the back office first before you can withdraw it. So this is why, obviously, get cracking with the compensation plan and build your income up so that you have at least $1,000 a day to spend, because this company allows it. Now, even if Bank of America eventually, I hope, gets replaced, or we at least keep Bank of America for all I care, I don't mind, but we would like some more alternatives where our international audience can participate more easily without having to suffer the delays that Bank of America usually offers. But if more cards are added, which I believe the company is going to make some kind of announcement sometime in the future, when others are added, we will have spending power using our back office income. So this is what a G point is, right? One G point is $1, as I mentioned, and it's a wonderful thing. We have our own G point market. As US persons, you can apply for the G point Visa card already. We, unfortunately, internationally cannot access this, so you have an advantage over us, and you can literally use your G points directly. Literally, remember that one G point is $1, right? And that is what you earn in this business, and you can spend it here directly and keep your IMC intact. Don't be in a hurry to sell those, because that is another story. Let me show you once again why I'm saying that. If I take you to Binance Coin, Binance launched on the 17th of July, 2017. And when Binance launched way back when, I stayed away from it because it was sort of a Hong Kong Chinese venture. I was a little bit nervous about all that, and I didn't want to put any money in there. But guess what, guys? It launched at 10 cents, right? From 10 cents, it reached a peak of over $650. 10 cents to $650 is a 650,000% return in 4 years. 650,000% return is not possible in any other asset class outside of crypto, and yet crypto has proven that it is possible. This is a real, genuine abundance machine. Now, a lot of people obviously bought at 10 cents, and when it reached $20 like a few months later, or $9 or whatever, 17, there you go, 17, there's $22. 10 cents becoming $22 is already life-changing for many people, and a lot of people would have sold out. But they had no clue when they sold it. They wish they hadn't sold it. If it can get $600 instead of 22, who wouldn't do that? I mean, let's put it into context. $10,000 at 10 cents, right? You're looking at millions, literally. $1,000 at 10 cents, you're looking at millions, literally, up here. Anywhere in this space, in the last few months, you would have been a multi-millionaire just with $1,000 then. But guess what? Maybe you were not invited at that time when Binance launched. Well, we are not competing with Binance. We are not in direct competition with them. Binance doesn't even have half the stuff that we are doing. They don't have their own G point market. They don't have a Bank of America deal. They don't have half the things we have, and yet we have Wyoming on our side, which is a stable platform. Binance, by the way, was registered in Hong Kong, and then the political unrest happened and the student protests and everything took place. And then the owner, Changpeng Zhao, he's a Canadian Chinese, but of Hong Kong origin. And he panicked, and then he re-registered Binance as a Malta entity. Malta is this itty bitty little island in the Mediterranean Sea, just south of Sicily, below Italy, and just north of Libya. And I've given a couple of speeches there at the blockchain conference in 2019. And it's okay for a cryptocurrency jurisdiction, but tiny island, $5 billion GDP. I mean, $5 billion is, I mean, I think there's about 100 Americans that are worth more than $5 billion. And that's the GDP of an entire island nation. So, you know, all these cryptocurrency projects, they want to find a home somewhere, where to be registered, where to be domiciled. Um, and I'm thinking, well, they should all be in Wyoming, surely, because by being in Wyoming, you're automatically grandfathered as an American entity. And if you're a USA company, who's going to challenge you? And especially if you take advantage of those laws put together with the help of proper attorneys and Wall Streeters and what have you, I think it's as safe as it gets. So I think the whole world should be eventually coming to the US for this. Unfortunately, it takes time for this to develop, and people have their opinion because some people are nervous about the SEC still. It's still a very, the SEC comes across as the big bad wolf when it comes to innovative financial technologies. They just want things done their way. So that's one of the reasons why crypto is not flooding into the US. And American people, unfortunately, have missed and lost out on a lot of opportunities because of the sort of heavy-handed, very regimental nature of US government agencies. Now, anyway, that being said, we have this fantastic G-Point voucher, right? So if you're doing legitimate business in your own state, wherever you live, great. But if you're living in a state that doesn't like certain things like online gaming, online gambling, sports betting, or the purchase of CBD-based products, or something like that, if your own local area isn't happy with that, then you have a bit of a problem, because you're the consumer and you should be able to buy whatever you want to buy. You should be able to access whatever you want to access. It's a free country, apparently, but yet law variation makes a difference, apparently. So what if you could just buy a voucher, and then that voucher could be spent anywhere and nobody needs to know how you spent that voucher? So that's what makes our G-Point market system, G-Point pay system, so attractive to a lot of other companies. They're like, hey, this is a clever idea. I can bring all my online gamers and gamblers and sports betting people and CBD oil consumers and real estate investors and all kinds of people. I can bring them all using the G-Point system. You're not dealing with crypto. You're not offending, annoying, or panicking any clerk in the bank who doesn't even understand crypto. And at the same time, you're accessing whatever you want to access if the G-Point converts. And that's what the law in Wyoming said. It must have consumptive characteristics. So if a crypto can be consumed as a voucher, or a voucher consumes or converts back into a crypto, we have that solution. So based on that, there may be an ever-growing, there already are some companies very interested in our G-Point system, but there are other companies very interested in coming and joining. And when they want to come and take advantage of what we have to offer, guess what? This company, World Crypto Life, makes a margin, and that margin, it doesn't just keep it for itself, it wants to pay back to you and me. Why? Because we are the early adopters and the first supporters of the company, of a proper USA-based, multi-level marketing, cryptocurrency, legitimate company, properly registered. And next week, for the first time, some of us leaders are getting together for the first company conference, and we'll actually get to be able to ask a lot more questions. I mean, I'm not going to party there. Okay, yeah, I will party later on anyway, but I'm going there with a bank of questions, and I just want to get under the skin of all these guys and understand their vision of the company, because sometimes a presentation cannot convey enough. So that'll be an awesome time, and hopefully in the near future we'll be able to present once more when we have a lot more information, more in-depth information. So we also have a travel club. And now this is another interesting element, because think about it, right? If you're earning dollars and then you're spending those dollars on travel, then you have less dollars in your bank to pay your other bills. What if you have a side hustle that makes you enough income, and from that income, your travel needs are taken care of? Then why would you spend your salary dollars on what you can use your hustle income for. Instead, beautiful. It's got its own compensation plan. It's already integrated in the back office. And because it is a club, a travel club, it's not limited or restricted to just our members. The company owners behind it, Ron Armstrong and the rest of them, they're able to bring in the traveling public. Now, remember, travel is a multi-trillion-dollar business under normal conditions, not this lockdown conditions, but under normal conditions. It's a multi-trillion-dollar annual turnover business. So, hey, why isn't that another pool of world globe-trotting people that should be participating in the ecosphere, in the ecosystem of cryptocurrency, and thereby all of us see value increase in our own crypto, hopefully. So this is how it starts, very straightforward. This is actually the real start of the presentation, so forgive me for waffling on and on. But the G-Point ecosystem is very straightforward. Please get back to the person that brings you to this, that brought you to this webinar tonight. Ask them for their link to sign up. It's very easy to sign up. There's no documents to upload. It's very simple bits of data needed. Try and use a laptop or a desktop to sign up so you get a nice clear view of everything. Sometimes characters can get lost in a smartphone, so try using a laptop. And then it's very simple. Buy yourself some G-Points. You can use Bitcoin, Ethereum, or USD Tether to buy your G-Points. If you don't use crypto at the moment, if you're new to crypto, generally speaking, you can use Zelle or Zelly or whatever it's called. It's a US service. I don't even know what it looks like. Or you can use a simple bank wire. You can use the FedABA routing system and get your bank to pay in into the Master NES account I showed you earlier. And buy yourself some G-Points. Now, this is where it gets really interesting. A lot of multi-level marketing companies, a lot of startup companies, a lot of general networking based companies, they sometimes get challenged by two separate three-letter agencies, not the SEC, but the Federal Trade Commission, as well as the Better Business Bureau. These are two entities in the USA that sort of come down heavy sometimes on certain business models. And if they ever ask, or anybody in just for general knowledge ever asked, what's this G-Point voucher system? Is that not just like a dollar being another dollar or whatever? No, actually, you can use the G-Point for a number of different reasons. You can use them in the travel club. You can use it to gift it to other members or literally sell your G-Points to other members if you have the G-Points. You can withdraw it into a crypto wallet. I mentioned earlier, you can withdraw as Ethereum and Cardano, the number 2 and number 3 cryptocurrencies in the world. You can withdraw them in, once you have the G-Point, you can literally withdraw them as crypto immediately. You can transfer them to the G-Point wallet, which is connected to that G-Point Visa card, and then go spending whatever you like. Or you can literally go shopping on the G-Point market and treat it like a dollar. So this G-Point has an actual use case, which is not just 1 or 2 functions. You've got literally 6 different functions here. But of course, we're here to make money. That's why you're here. We all are interested in income being generated from this system, which is a very, very simple system. I am complicating it because I like to give as much of comprehensive understanding, because somebody or the other will pick up on something or the other that will make the penny drop. So I believe it's good to give more than less information, and then we deal with the question and answers eventually anyway. So get yourself a membership package. And what does that membership package look like? Well, when you have G-Points, each G-Point is $1. So with $100, you can get 100 G-Point package called a member package. If you have a bigger capacity, go for one of the bigger ones, and it'll be a better thing to do anyway. And what the company is saying is, for every $100 we get in, we put $80 on the table for you to come and collect, or for the network to be paid out from. But you have to qualify for that. And that is what we're going to discuss in the compensation plan now. But basically, the company is saying that every time we sell these packages, you have 80% called point volume or points value or whatever. and PV basically. And from that PV, all of us get paid from that 80% portion. That's the plaything we get to earn from. Now, what are these packages? Well, currently our token is at 35 cents. So $100 will buy you maybe 200 and something 35-cent tokens. Obviously, $1,000 package will buy you 2,500 and something 35-cent tokens. So you're buying those IMC tokens using these packages. So you become an owner of those tokens. Tokens are locked for 6 months. This is to prevent dozens of people trying to sell all at the same time and then the price crashes. We don't want that to happen. In fact, whatever amount you want to spend on here, even if it's $100 or $10,000, whatever the amount you're spending on here, just a little bit of networking will make enough income back. You can recover your cost, and now your tokens are free. If your tokens are free, please do not be in a rush to sell them. Please do not be like the holders of that Binance coin who bought it at 10 cents and wanted to sell it at 20 bucks. Because what if 20 bucks is just the beginning of 200, 2,000 or more? We don't know. We just don't know. I can't predict. I'm not projecting any numbers, but I'm just giving an example by comparing it to Binance that in crypto, people sold out too early and regretted it. So there may be a chance that this thing becomes a really huge futuristic project with loads and loads of people using it. At that point, you wish you had your tokens. So 6-month lock-in is reasonable. And after that, you'll get 10% of your tokens released each month, and you can sell them if you wanted to. But I'm not selling my tokens. I mean, I'm only a $10,000 package holder in the company, but I've made back so many times over and over and over that my tokens are free anyway. So why would I want to sell them? I'm going to hold out till I see like really nice magical numbers for me to sell those tokens. But that's the whole attraction. This is why this is such an easy company to take to other people. There's no physical products. There's no delivery of anything. There's no delays in anything. All you got to do is take up a position and find other people who are also looking for these kind of tokens that could potentially be life-changing for thousands of us collectively. Now, the compensation plan is split into 7 different ways, and all 7 methods, all 7 types of bonuses are literally paid out of the 80% PV. So it's the PV we are interested in now, not the actual size of the package itself. The first 2, the fast start binary and the binary bonus, these 2 are daily paid, which is again amazing and revolutionary. I can assure you there are loads of opportunities out there that big themselves up, but they pay you once a month or maybe at the end of the week or whatever. Here, your Monday's effort can be collected on the Tuesday already. You can literally withdraw on the Tuesday what you did. I mean, when I was working in the bank, I had a whole year's work. I had to wait for that dreaded January human resources or leadership and talent management, as it's been renamed. Leadership and talent management, HR lady would sit there and tell me, oh, it's been a tough year. Thank you for your hard work, but your bonus this year will only be a month instead of 2 months that we promised you before. You have to wait a year in a corporate organization to get a bonus if you're even entitled to a bonus. Whereas here, what you did today, if it was successful, you deserve to collect it tomorrow. It's amazing. It's life-changing. It's invigorating. It's energizing. I mean, just thinking about it, it's 3 o'clock and 12 a.m. for me. And I am filled with energy just thinking 15 years in banking. And here I've got this opportunity that literally today's effort will pay me tomorrow. Amazing. Now, the next bonus is a monthly bonus. The travel club bonus is also a monthly bonus. The rank bonus is a one-off, one-time, once in a lifetime bonus, but it's a very important bonus. And this important bonus then decides the affiliate and the global bonus. So we're going to cover all of these in step by step. I hope you're not too bored with my voice by now, but fast start is not a time pressure bonus. Fast start simply means The moment your referral signs up and buys their package, the next day you will see your bonus. That's how fast it comes. And that's why it's a fast start. So you don't have time limit or anything. If someone signs up next year with you, you will get paid the following day of that next year date, whenever they signed up. Now, you don't have to have a big package and you don't have to sponsor a big package. It doesn't matter whether your own membership package is the big one or your referral is getting a big or small package. Doesn't matter. Everybody gets paid uniformly 10% based on the package that has been purchased. So 10% on level 1 is amazing, right? Because that's 10%. Let's say somebody buys a $10,000 package, that's 8,000 PV. 10% of 8,000 PV is 800 bucks. One sale, 800 bucks, done today, collected tomorrow. Boom. That's an amazing income. All you got to do is open up your friends and not friends, your professional network, because I avoid talking to friends and family about business because they've already judged you. It's written somewhere, you know, a prophet is not recognized in his own village. So you don't want to go with familiar people. Networks are there to expand. So reach out as far and wide as possible. Now, the bigger the package itself, the deeper you get paid. And this is, again, a very, very powerful tool because I built my team with just 4 active members. So their 10% for, as a platinum member, 4 active members, their 10% wasn't going to change my life. But guess what? They introduced somebody that introduced somebody that introduced somebody. And at level 4, somebody comes in and sells hundreds of packages. Boom, I'm getting 3% on hundreds of packages being sold when I don't even know the guy. I actually don't even know the guy who brought him in. I don't even know the guy who brought him in. I just know the guy I sponsored. And then eventually you find out who they are, and then you have a conversation and you help support your team, etc. So this is a really, really powerful tool to earn deeper. It's better to have a bigger package, but if there are financial restrictions, don't worry. Start wherever you are comfortable, and you can always upgrade, and you don't have to upgrade. There's no forced mandatory upgrade or anything. It's a mathematical function you need to think about. Would you rather take the money out of the system and spend it because you need to spend it? Then that might be your priority. But if it can stay in the system and you're able to upgrade, and then later on you will earn deeper and more powerfully, then that might be the better option, unless you have an urgent spending need somewhere. So that's how straightforward and simple it is. The second bonus is binary bonus. As the name suggests, you have to build 2 teams, and it is 2 teams. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. 2 teams means you need to have 1 person on your left, 1 person on your right, and they need to be paid up for you to even qualify for this bonus. That's what I was telling you earlier, that company leaves a lot of money on the table. Not a lot of people are efficiently able to collect all of that money. Why? Because they don't do things the right way. And the right way to do things is, here it says, you must have at least 1 personally introduced member on each team to receive this bonus. That means you need a paid member left and paid member right before you even start building the team. Now, if you didn't have a paid member here, I mean, I've got people with like 200, 300, even 400,000 PVs on one leg, and they don't qualify for the binary because they never upgraded themselves. And they never bothered to have 1 person on the left and 1 person on the right. So this is one of the reasons why we train our international friends in doing things a little differently. We create the tri-pack. Allow me to just go back a few pages and show you what a tri-pack really means. If someone came in, for example, and said, hey, I've got 5,000 bucks to spend, we tell them don't. We said, don't spend 5,000. Instead, spend just 1,000. And then sponsor yourself left with 2,000 and right with 2,000. 2 plus 2 plus 1 is 5. You've spent 5,000 within the same, maybe 10, 15 extra minutes it's taken you to do that. But you have now got the $1,000 position has got one paid left, one paid right. So the $1,000 position is now fully qualified. So you have qualified yourself for the binary before you even speak to another soul. And if 5,000 is a lot for you, it doesn't matter. Come in with 100, 100, 100. You can create a $300 tri-pack, no problem. But once you've done that, then what happens is any volume coming in from all the other people that will eventually be a part of your team is fully captured and it pays out. And this also pays out every day. So if there's volume today, you deserve to get paid tomorrow and withdraw your money tomorrow if you're able to withdraw your money tomorrow. No flushing in your points, meaning unlike many other opportunities, every month you've got targets, like you have to reach a certain number of volume to maintain your position and all that. Nothing here. All that volume is there for you to collect and it doesn't get removed. That is beautiful. Now, there's also 3x15 team force matrix. Don't even look at it. Don't even bother looking at it. It's not something you need to do. It is something the company does for you. It uses people that join after you to squeeze them under you into your team one more time so that you can collect 1% on any volume. Now, this is not 1% being paid every month for the rest of your life or anything. This is only on the volume. So for example, if you had a team, let's say 100 people in your team eventually, those 100 people literally went on a Sleeping Beauty tour and didn't wake up for a whole year, you're not going to get anything. But suddenly everybody wakes up and some are upgrading, some are sponsoring other people, some are generating volume. Well, in the month that they're generating that volume, you will get 1%. Now, it's impossible to predict how many people will be upgrading what kind of packages. Will a $100 member go straight to 10,000 as I did? That's literally my jump. I didn't go from 100 to 500 to 1,000. When I realized what this company is and does, my initial leg in the door, which was $100, went whoa, straight to a $10,000 package. But then with the $10,000 package, however many levels, there may be some gaps here or there. I don't really mind. It doesn't bother me because anytime anybody upgrades, I get 1% for doing absolutely nothing. So that's a beautiful bonus, but it is paid out on a monthly basis. So whatever bonus you're entitled to in the matrix for the month of September will be paid out to you on the 10th of October. The 10th of the following month is payday. Travel Club, again, quite amazing. This is a whole presentation in and of itself, but I'll be honest with you, this isn't the most massively paying portion. All you got to do is basically present to people your own team. And if your team is beginning to upgrade in the Travel Club, you might as well upgrade yourself and capture some extra bonus. So this is an extra bonus. But the real beauty, the real gem in this is not the compensation plan. It's what the Travel Club actually does. You can get like a $2,500, $3,000 5-star luxury exotic stay in some faraway place for $250. Yeah, that's right, 90% off. If you can find the deal, meaning this is not a travel agency, it's a travel club. The inventory they have, they will display it to you. If those dates and those times are okay, go for it and take advantage of up to 90% off on super luxury items, and you can do loads of stuff with it. But if you're looking for specific dates where you want to fly and that inventory is not available, obviously it's not a travel agency. They're not going to do the booking for you or go looking for stuff for you. You need to look for it. And if it suits you, go for it. That alone is actually mind-blowing. So the Travel Club is a fantastic place. As far as the income is concerned, it's okay. I mean, it'll take 100 people on your left and 100 people on your right to make $1,200 a month, which immediately, instantly isn't that appealing to a network marketer. It isn't appealing to me for sure, but it's a nice facility to have in the back office. And this is just my personal opinion on it. I'm sure there'll be some leaders who are more enthusiastic about it than I am. But as far as I'm concerned, hey guys, I've got people from Africa and Asia, and they're not going to do big spending travel. Big spending travel is what the developed countries do. So there's no way I'm going to tell my people to upgrade. But where you are at in the USA, everybody travels. I mean, I think the flights for the company event, they're cheaper for me coming from London. I might go to actually Birmingham in UK. From Birmingham, I might go to Zurich. From Zurich, I'll come to Cancun. That connecting flight is a total of 16 hours in air. That's cheaper than some people flying from New York to Miami, because international flights are actually cheaper. So the US, being a natural, high traveling, high air traffic environment, this is just a perfect fit for our company, because you can now use crypto and travel in the same space. Beautiful. Now, this is by far my favorite bonus. And this is because it's changed a lot of people's lives already. It's paid only once in a lifetime. So you get to be a 1-star to begin with, if you have 2000 PV on your left and your right, minimum. Obviously, one left or right, one will be bigger than the other. But if you see, the moment you see 2000 on either side minimum, you get a 1-star rank and a $250 bonus, which is not bad, considering 2000 PV is generated by selling $2,500 in packages, and it doesn't have to be your own sales. If you're binary qualified already, it could be some spillover coming your way. It could be your own sponsor placing somebody under you. As long as the volume is there, you're qualifying for it. So nothing wrong with it. Now, in network marketing, a lot of people actually get enthusiastic about business and then it tapers down. Some people procrastinate. Some people, frankly, are just lazy. Some people, they're willing to put in the effort, but there's something holding them back. And then some others, they just go for it and go for it and go for it. So there are all kinds of people. But even people who do a little bit of effort can get to the 1-star rank fairly easily, very quickly. And that is the beauty, because what happens is, if a little bit of effort gets you to 1-star, then that means your own team will make that effort and get to 1-star. Once you start collecting a bunch of 1-stars in your own team, you're on your way to a 2-star. Once you get 1-stars and 2-stars, you're on your way to 3-star and so on. Now, by the time you get to 4-star, Mr. Carter here and I have both collected $20,000 on a single payday. Not bad to have access to $20,000 through an online platform that to many is a side hustle, to be honest. And if you look at the 5-star, you need 1 million PV on the left and 1 million PV on the right. What does that actually mean? Well, at the rate of 10% binary, or 10 or even 15% binary, you're looking at $150 in just binary income already. Then maybe another $70,000, $75,000 in fast start bonus. Then add all the other bonuses together. I mean, 5-star, you're looking at $250,000 already taken home. That is amazing. And we have 3 5-stars in the company. That means there are 3 people that have taken roughly about $250,000 home by being 5-stars. And all of it starts by being a 1-star to begin with. That being said, once you're a star rank holder, all the other companies I mentioned, CBD oil and the gaming, gambling, who are interested in our G-Point system, when they are fully integrated, our company will make a margin. And from that margin, you get paid. So if you're a 1-star, you get paid 5%. If you're a 2-star, you get paid 5 plus 5, 10%. 3 stars, 5 plus 5 plus 5, 15%, and so on, a cumulative 22% all the way to 7-star. For doing what exactly? For doing absolutely nothing at all. This is the company generating external revenue sources by cooperating and getting into joint ventures, partnerships, or agreements with third-party companies that simply want to use our G-Point payment system. That's how simple it is. It's nothing you and I are going to do, ever. We don't even need to use those companies at all, unless you want to, of course, that's your choice. So just being a star rank opens up the door to the affiliate bonuses. And we don't know how many millions or hundreds of millions or billions of dollars worth of business we are going to be doing using the G-point system. And if, let's say, the revenue at some point reaches $1 billion US, surely you want some percentage out of it. If you wanted a percentage out of that as a monthly revenue source, get yourself star ranks as quickly as you can and keep building. And the best way to build a star rank for yourself is to help your people. Don't just recruit people and leave them on their own devices and let them be. Help them so that they feel supported and helped, and you automatically will reap the rewards of being in a genuine team function. Now, after the affiliate bonus comes the global pool bonus. This is, again, very juicy. I mean, like I said, we've got teams growing in different places all around the world. And you being in the USA, you get to share in that as well. How? Because the total number of packages sold by all the different teams, even if they have nothing to do with each other directly, as long as the packages are sold, the company takes stock of it at the end of the month, calculates what the total sales were, and from that, 3.2% is set aside to pay to you and me and everybody else who's a star rank holder in our system. 1% to the 1 star, 1 plus 1, 2% to the 2 star, 1 plus 1 plus half, 2.5% to the 3 star, and so on. So this is yet another revenue coming in from other people's effort. You didn't have to work for it. This is revenue coming in from the company's effort with other companies. You didn't have to do anything. This is a fairly easy rank to achieve once in a lifetime, but once you achieve it, it's never taken away from you. That means the remaining bonuses that are based on this star rank are yours to harvest on a monthly basis as the company continues to grow and expand. What more could you ask for? That being said, ladies and gentlemen, this will be the end of my presentation. I've been talking for an hour and a half. I hope my voice isn't too boring, but if there are any questions, maybe Eric, if I missed anything or if there's something I need to address, please let me know.
Well, first of all, before all the questions start coming in, I'm sure they are, man, fantastic. I know for a fact, receiving the text messages I received, looking in the chat boxes, that people are just absolutely hanging on to your every word, man. Again, I'm thankful, I'm grateful that you came on board and shared all this information. A lot of stuff that I didn't even know. A lot of stuff got me all excited about it, man. So again, thank you so much for doing that. And now I see there are a few people who've got their hands raised, and they've probably either got a comment or a question. So let's see what's going on in Anthony Basie's name. Anthony, feel free to unmute yourself and ask your question, please. Anthony Bassie, or Anthony Basie, however you pronounce that, my apologies.
Anthony Bassi, all right.
All right.
Yeah, so I kind of asked the question because if you want to buy the token, maybe when someone register you already, if you want to buy the token, how is it possible for you to buy in the website?
Okay, so the token will eventually be available to the general public anyway. The token will eventually be listed on an exchange where the forces of demand and supply will decide its price, and that'll be out of anybody's control, and you can buy it at that point. But here we are in a private sale, so we are getting the token at a discount to where we hope the future price is going to be. So to buy the token, very simple, get back to the person that invited you to this call, ask them for a link. And if they are a member, they would have already bought their package, so they can show you step by step how to buy your package. And within the package is your token.
Excellent, excellent.
Okay. So it's kind of is a must. I have to send money for the person to give me the token.
Never send money to anybody directly, please. This is okay. So the company gives you a platform. Once you've signed up, first of all, you need to create a user ID, just like you create any other online account with social media or even an
Yeah.
email account, right? Create yourself a online account ID, and then once you're registered in the back office, it'll show you step by step how to actually buy the G points. The G points are just dollars. The reason the company is doing it like this is because sometimes when people send in cryptocurrency, the transfer fees in Ethereum, they're known as gas fees. In Bitcoin, it's simply Satoshis you spend. That's the transfer fee. Sometimes it can be high. And then if you've sent $100, the company only receives 98. How do you buy a $100 package with $98? So that's why the company says buy G points. So you know exactly how many dollars have arrived. And then you can convert those dollars into a package, and now you have your package. So it's very straightforward. I think whoever referred you to this call, get in touch with them, and step by step, maybe they'll be happy to Zoom with you and share screen. If not, we have our own company corporate training website, which then demonstrates to you exactly what you need to do. It's simply called WCL on the go.info. Please have a look at that website. There are videos by the corporate officers showing you how to do. Never send money unless you are in a perfectly healthy working relationship and you know the person for a while. Never send money directly to anyone. You're buying your package with the company, and the credit goes to the link of your sponsor. You're not buying the package through your sponsor, because then you may not hear from them again. And that's not the company's fault, right? So
Very good, very good. Thank you, Prem, for that. Now let's go to Melody Clark. She has her hand up. Melody, feel free to unmute yourself and ask your question. Melody, do you know how to unmute yourself and ask your question? 5, 4, 3.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you perfectly. There you go.
My phone screen kept changing on me and I couldn't get it to work. I apologize.
It's okay.
I think he was mentioning that he has some kind of training or something that you can watch or go see.
Yes, Prem has his own group training site. Prem, you want to put that in the chat box for people?
yeah, sure. It's more of an information site, to be honest. We don't really do training per se. What we like to do instead is once the business presentation is over, we just go with the flow. Some members ask questions and then we try and address them. Our calls can last 2 to 3 hours. When the business portion is only half an hour, the calls are quite long, and that's not really training. It's more of experience sharing, really. It's not any structured, formal type of training. That kind of training is what the company is organizing already. There is a plan to include that kind of training with all the different bells and whistles. But as it stands right now, our website is WCLAllstars.com, and that website has some general generic information. It's not specifically training. For training purposes, depending on your area of interest, I mean, it's so vast, the cryptocurrency field, that I think maybe wait a little bit and let the company announce a formal training program, and that would be a better way to proceed. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Let's see. 5KC, Mike Casey. You've got your hand raised. You're next up, sir.
Okay, thank you. Can you hear me?
I hear you perfectly.
Good, great. So the question is, I'm still not quite sure how to make the correlation between the G point, the tokens, and I think I understand the G point and the crypto is a 1-to-1 correlation, or whatever the value of crypto is per dollar USD. But as far as the G points is concerned, when you buy G points with your How do you? Yeah, I don't understand quite. I'm quite don't really understand how to buy G points.
Sure. So if we just go back a little bit and start at the beginning, the IMC crypto token has a limited supply of 300 million only. There will only ever be 300 million. If the company's overall valuation becomes 300 million, that means each token should be technically worth $1 each, right? But what if the company valuation is actually 3 billion? Then that means each token is worth at least $10 or more. What if the company is 30 billion, 300 billion? Then each of those tokens is valued more and more. But the supply, the number of units available for anybody to hold is always going to be 300 million. There's never going to be one extra token available for anybody. So this is the beauty of cryptocurrency. It's got an intrinsic expansion capacity. For example, your dollar only has 100 cents. It can never have 101 cents. That's not a dollar anymore. That's $1.01. If it is 99 cents, that's also not a dollar because it's 1 cent short of 1 cent short of a dollar. But in crypto, the decimal points have 8 spaces. So if one Bitcoin is $1, it's 1.000 whatever, right? But if one Bitcoin is $10,000, it's 0.0001 Bitcoin. And you can't do that with the dollar because 0.001 is just 1 cent. How do you break down a cent even further? You can't. So when the intrinsic value of Bitcoin is $10,000, you get 0.0001 of a Bitcoin. And this is why it's got an intrinsic expansion capacity because the digital system allows it. Physically, you wouldn't be able to do it. If you literally had 100 cents in your palm of your hand, you wouldn't be able to further divide them without destroying the actual coin itself. Whereas in crypto, you can divide it. So because of this intrinsic expansion capability, the supply of the crypto needs to be fixed, which is 300 million for IMC. But that doesn't stop other people from wanting to use our system, even if they didn't want to use crypto. What if somebody doesn't want to use crypto? What if somebody just wants to use the G points to buy some fashion items on our G point market? And then while browsing, they're like, oh, I can book a vacation here and book some flights using this. So let me do that as well. And then, oh yeah, I want to get some CBD oil products from the other company that's also using G points. They can spend $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 in our ecosystem or more or whatever without touching the crypto. But if our ecosystem is absorbing dollars from all the other external parties and growing in volume, and the trades are bigger and bigger and more people using it, it automatically bumps up the price of our crypto eventually. Why? Because our total valuation is going up. So if our total valuation is going up, will the price of a limited supply token remain the same? Not really. It should go up as well because that is in limited supply. So the tokenization aspect is a substitution for what you might call company shares, but these are not shares because shares go through a registrar and then you've got to re-register them. And then there's the whole mess behind it and the regulatory entities. Here we are just defining crypto as a personal intangible property that goes up. As long as our company keeps expanding and becoming a multi-billion-dollar entity, the value of our crypto automatically goes up. And that's the correlation. Basically, the world of printed paper money and the world of cryptocurrency does not easily mix. So what this company has created is a window in the wall, literally a hatch from the kitchen to the dining room. You just pass the food from and the dirty dishes back through there, right? It's literally a hatch, a window in the wall that makes the two worlds come together seamlessly. And we've solved a problem that a lot of other cryptocurrencies have not. And therefore, there is a correlation between the two, but because the G point is just a voucher, there is unlimited supply of it. We can just create those vouchers all day long because it's just a digital code, but the token will remain limited. So I hope that kind of gives you a better picture of why there is a correlation, but it's a conversion that the company does internally. It doesn't have to be on some kind of public exchange. It is a centralized process, whereas the ownership of the cryptocurrency is decentralized. If we are 20,000 members today, tomorrow we may be 200,000 members, 200,000 members holding 300 million token. The company no longer holds it. It's been held with everybody else. That's how decentralization happens. Everything starts at some point and then it spreads out. And basically the idea with this company is go forth and multiply. I hope that answers your question.
It does mostly, and I thank you so much for that detail. I love details, but ultimately, I'm also asking, what is there any diminution of the tokens in regards to conversion to the G point? Do we lose tokens in any? How can we lose, or how can we lose not the value of the tokens, but the quantity of tokens that we have?
The only time you lose them is when you have to pay any kind of transaction fee that are payable in the token itself, right? So allow me to put it another way. If there is a cryptocurrency exchange, now Bitcoin is $45,000, $50,000 each. Ethereum is $3,500, $4,000 or whatever. And a lot of traders, they want to basically trade between the two or other pairs or whatever. The final objective is that they want to accumulate as many Bitcoin and as many Ethereums as possible. That's the idea of trading. That's where they see their profit being crystallized. When they are doing that, they don't want to be paying commissions in Bitcoin because every trade has a commission or a fee. So they hate doing that. I would hate doing that. If I did 10 trades a day and every time I was bleeding a little bit of Bitcoin here and there, I would hate doing that. Along comes an exchange and says, hey, by the way, why don't you use our tokens as commission? First, you buy our tokens. And now that you bought our tokens, use our tokens as commission. So basically you're trading apples and oranges, and the exchange comes along and offers bananas and says, use bananas as the commission whilst you trade apples and oranges. So you get to keep your apples and oranges, but use our bananas as the commission. So it's a substitution which helps grease the engine. The only time you would lose those tokens or our tokens is when our tokens become the very thing you need to pay the fee for. So if you're withdrawing them, if there's a 5% transaction cost or whatever, that's the time you lose the token. Other than that, you've got no reason to lose the token, and hopefully you'll not be in a hurry to sell them either. Hold on to them because 300 is already a limited supply, 300 million. If the vast majority of us just simply refuse to sell it, and there's a million traders out there desperately looking to buy these tokens, we hold the price. We become the market maker. We are the dealer. We are the ones that have the supply, and they're the ones that are desperately looking for more and more and driving the price up. So that's one of the reasons why we are in a private sale. And normally in crypto, in many of the previous projects, something that happens is called an airdrop. Airdrop is simply you register your wallet ID and you commit how much you want to buy. And then when the company releases its token, it just airdrops it to millions of people that have interest in that project. Airdrops are a disaster because you don't want somebody from like India with a $10 investment, as they call it. They're only looking to double it to $20 and they think they've scored a great win or whatever. You don't want that kind of investor. What happens in network marketing is you are credible, therefore you will reach out to other credible people and they reach out to other credible people, and we form a small little club of people that are on a level and have an understanding of where we want this token to go. We want it to go into hundreds of dollars from the 35 cents it is right now. And in order to do that, we have an automatic logic. We need this company to be a phenomenal success. We all have the exact same shared vision and values for the company. So therefore, hold on to your tokens. Don't worry about them being lost or anything. And in the meantime, take advantage of the G-Point system and go spend your money.
Excellent, excellent. Let's do two more, and then we'll call it a night. Richard Cameron, you've got your hand up. You've been patient, sir. Feel free to unmute yourself and ask your question, make your comment.
Hey guys, hope you can hear me fine. Just a couple of quick questions. I just wanted to clarify one point. Once you achieve a star ranking, that star ranking will never be demoted, regardless of what happens in the future.
Correct.
Okay, so if I manage to make it to 3-star, for example, then all the bonuses that come, either daily or monthly or whatever, that are attracted to a 3-star bonus will always come for in perpetuity into the future.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
If I wanted to invest $3,000, it would be much more advantageous to me to do $1,000 package for myself, $1,000 package for my wife, and $1,000 package for my dog or whatever.
Correct.
Or me
Potentially,
again, or my wife again.
allow me to just clarify on that point. Potentially, that's what you would do, 1,000, 1,000, potentially.
Yep.
But I don't know what your network looks like, what your future growth strategy is, exactly how much time you're going to commit to building this, how aggressively you're going to proceed with this.
Pretty
So
much to acquire coins. That's what it'll be, and not probably spending a lot of time building the business side of things. I'll probably get maybe a handful of people that will ultimately sign up at this stage from direct family, friends, and other associates. But my focus will be trying to accumulate and acquire as many tokens as I can with the minimum amount of effort at this stage.
So it makes a difference immediately. It immediately makes a difference. For example, you have a small package on the top and large packages below. You will be getting more commission into the small package, and therefore your average cost basis will drop. If you have large package at the top and small packages below, you would do that only to activate the large package in the middle, the main package, so that you are fully qualified to go ahead and build a team. So if you took the slides and tried and work it out on a piece of paper, which of those permutations and combinations suit you, it's a question of how you want to proceed going forward. So if it's a fairly laid back, friends and family, but initially mainly just acquire more tokens for yourself, you can start with maybe a 500 package on the top, right?
Yep.
And it doesn't have to be necessarily yourself, wife, and another account. I'm sure you have yourself 2 or 3 different accounts, and just, you know, it doesn't, you don't need to assign them because there's no inheritability here. It's all taken care of by the company. So you can create as many accounts as you want and create a whole structure for yourself if mathematically the payback is worth the commission that brings down your average token cost.
Yeah, and it's $500 minimum package that you have to have in order to be getting paid for things. Is that correct?
We won't say there's a minimum. We don't want to get in that too much, but I do encourage you to get back with the person that invited you to the Zoom and work out a strategy based upon your particular situation. I mean, we've got 79 people on the Zoom. Everybody's got a slightly different situation, but the person that invited you here can work out exactly what's best for you, and you can get all those questions answered.
Sure, terrific.
Okay.
And the final part was, can we get a copy of the presentation? Because there were so many notes I couldn't write down fast enough.
I'm going to make it available as a YouTube video no later than the end of the day tomorrow. I'm going to send it over to my IT person, Captain Crunch, Mr. Benjamin Funch, who also does all my training, who will turn it from what this is into a YouTube video. He'll split it up several different ways. And if you go to his site or go to his training, he'll make it available. His site is Templar Knight Crypto on YouTube, and it'll be there available at the earliest convenience.
Terrific. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. David Lewis, you are the last person, sir, but you are not the least. Feel free to unmute yourself and ask your question and I can make your comment.
Great. And I really enjoyed the presentation. I really thank you for your time and I'm really excited about what this represents. But my question is really a simple one. And it's one for the new person who may be interested, Prem, in thinking about how to approach someone. What, in your opinion, is the most simple or easiest peaking interest strategy to approach someone about this program? What would you say?
Well, again, it depends on what your network is mainly made up of and what that network has actually been doing. Like, for example, I refuse to reach out to my mother and my sister because they're like, oh, no, not another one of those. Just go away, right? So that was pointless. Instead, what I did is the income I withdrew from here, once I collected a little bit, I sent off, I told them to set up crypto accounts. They're both in India, set up crypto accounts. And then I sent them a shocking amount of crypto, both of them. And they're like, what? Where did that come from? I'm like, that's what I would have told you about if you weren't like, prejudging me. So they're like, oh my goodness. So how do I do this? So like what now both my mom and my sister are referring people. They're not setting up accounts or anything with WCL, but they're referring people. They're like, oh, no, go talk to him. So how do you generate interest? I mean, I don't know your audience, but it is actually a relationship thing. I mean, it also depends on what is your style. I personally would not use my sign up link and just slap it all over social media because the sign-ups you get are not worth it, honestly, because the thing is, you would not just click some random link and register your details there. So what kind of person would do that if you threw your link out, right? So it's always a case of a personal approach, but I would, the most successful strategy that has worked and continues to work and will always work, in my opinion, is a three-way call. And I don't know if any friends here are from the Jehovah's Witness organization, but you see the style there. You knock on a door, and usually somebody junior is the one talking, and the senior person is observing and watching how that conversation is going. If it needs rescuing, the senior person steps in and tries to save the situation because there's often a lot of animosity or rejection involved. And that is a very good life lesson to learn. Now, I'm not personally a very religious person, although I've studied most religions as a personal academic interest. But the growth pattern of this organization is very simple. Two people tackling one person, then two people get to speak depending on how the mood is flowing. And if, for example, somebody's like me who talks too much, then you need someone like Eric to step in and say, all right, well, let's change the topic and let's move on to the next thing because there are other people here as well. That is good correction. That is a positive correction that is received well by the audience on the one hand. And on the other hand, even the one listening is like, oh, these guys, they got their stuff together. I mean, they're working in a partnership. They know their stuff. So three-way calls, by all means, find somebody in your organization, in your peculiar team, that is happy to do a three-way call. Otherwise, the best thing to do is just refer people and say, hey, I've got something here. Please give me just some time, and please, make sure you clear your mind and come and watch this, and then bring them to Mr. Carter's regular webinars. I'm sure there are loads of people here that do regular webinars. And that's where you basically bring people in And when the interest is self-generated within themselves, they will come for the second one. This should not be a case of hard selling. Hard selling puts people off every single time. I mean, I don't know about you, but I like to go to this place called Cabo Verde on vacation under normal conditions. It's a beautiful group of islands just off the coast of Africa. Very exclusive, very nice, and beautiful white, soft powder beach. And the moment I see this guy with like towels hanging on his both arms walking towards me, I know, oh no, he's going to sell me a rag. And I already know, I'm already switched off, I'm already turned off. And from a relaxed vacation holiday mood, I'm all of a sudden, my mind is like, right, come on then. You want to take me on, right? I can haggle better than you. So, you know, the whole mindset changes. So it's a case of how you want to approach it. But if you bring people in, and if the conviction comes in from within, then you have not done the selling. You've not done the hard selling part. And on top of that, this company is great. I mean, we've got so many educators in the company. It adds value. And if people are missing out on cryptocurrency, it's an absolute tragedy, because what are your choices? The Fed coin? Really? So crypto is where people's lives have changed. And you know, regular people don't need a qualification, don't need any kind of great background story or anything. Normal people took a chance, and now some of them driving Lamborghinis, although I wouldn't do that, but there are, to own a Lamborghini is apparently a Bitcoiner's big objective in life. I think it's a waste of money, but anyway, that's how I think.
That's exactly right. Honestly, there is no secret sauce to how to build. You just have to open up your mouth and start talking to people. That's all we do is three things: talk to people, and talk to people. And the conversation is going to change based upon who you talk to. That's about it. Carla with the K, I'm going to allow you to unmute yourself and state your question. Your hand is up. I didn't see it. My apologies.
That's okay. It was my background probably.
Whoops, you're muted.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Prem, for your presentation. It was very edifying and informational. You pointed out some things that I didn't know. For instance, about Mark Gordon, the governor of Wyoming, how he has made Wyoming a cryptocurrency friendly state. State in America. And I'm wondering, we're talking about building and how we get people to listen and be interested. I mean, everybody almost, I think, knows about Bitcoin or cryptocurrency at this point. If they don't, they don't want to know, or they've ignored it. But a lot of people don't know the end game, you know, how it's going to be used, how or when it might be available to be used to go to Target and, or, you know, or go to Walmart or wherever and actually spend the money. So when we talk about this, and you mentioned Mark Gordon, and also we know it's a usable coin, and you talk about G-Point, the marketplace. These are all things that I think people can relate to, and they can really say, okay, because like most people trust Delaware, you know, to incorporate a business, and they might, you know, they move away from Vegas and, you know, certain places like that. So what I'm wondering is, what impressed you the most with your Merrill Lynch background and your B of A background? And I appreciate you being honest and upfront about that. What impressed you the most? I know there's probably several things, but that you would really take the leap and really know that this is the one, as opposed to investing in Ethereum and Bitcoin and Dogecoin and all these other ones that people are running after and grabbing and not even knowing, you know, where it's going to go. What was your big?
Okay, so I'll give you a little bit of background. When we used to host events in London, we've done blockchain rallies at the Houses of Parliament. and we sort of connected with some USA-based partners that are blockchain developers. They literally do coding, programming, get SEC approvals and stuff like that. Our main partner is based in Plano, Texas. I got involved with this one project where we were the first cryptocurrency company in the world to fund a movie using blockchain. That movie is known as Hell on the Border, the story of Bass Reeves, the first Black deputy marshal in the USA. And when the movie was produced, we successfully sold it for a 200% profit to Netflix. So you can find Hell on the Border on Netflix. One of the actors is, who's the guy from Hellboy, the man with the big jaw? He's in it as well. It's directed by Henry Penzi. Anyway, that's besides the point. So we've been involved in the blockchain space for a while. And when Max Garza calls and says, buddy, you got to listen to this, I drop everything and I listen to him, because the guy has already developed a number of projects that have been quite successful. So he's like, look, bro, just sign up, okay, and ask questions later. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. I want information. I want to know who's behind the company. I want to know who the owners are. I want to know what their credentials are. And I want every bit of dirt on them before I even touch this thing. He's like, look, bro, just do it, because I am not doing it. I'm like, why are you not doing it? He says, oh, well, I'm dealing with the SEC. And when I deal with the Securities and Exchange Commission, I can't find myself in a conflict of interest scenario. So I got to basically take a line, and I can tell you, you'll do well in this. I'm like, okay, fine, let's see. I don't know. I'm not a natural network marketer. Okay. I've been consulting on different projects. Right now, we've got a gold-backed token with physical gold being mined in Africa. That is one of the major projects I'm involved in on the side, which is also one of the reasons why my performance in WCL lacks sometimes, because I have to divide my time amongst different projects. But I'm passionate about impact investing. I want to help people in the most miserable parts of the world. They deserve to be lifted up. And unfortunately, Africa right now is suffering the final wave of slavery. This time it is coming from China, and they literally walking around with suitcases of money, bribing local officials and trapping Africans in their own homeland and draining all the resources, never mind the lithium of Afghanistan. But West Africa is rich in gold and all kinds of rare earth metals that the Chinese are after. So the way they're doing it is they're just buying up all the officials. And instead of the people getting any return on the resources from their own soil, from their own fatherland, from their own ground, you know, and I feel it's a travesty. It's absolute injustice. So impact investing is my number one priority project that I want to work in. So World Crypto Life is incidental, by the way. But when it came along and I looked at the structure, I was like, right, wow, hang on a minute. I actually took time. It took me 3 days to read through all the laws of Wyoming. I read most of them out of academic interest. And when the whole picture came together, I'm like, I don't think the world even knows. I don't think they're advertising themselves properly. And then news articles started coming. One of the oldest USA regulated exchanges in San Francisco called Kraken re-registered in Wyoming and got given a chartered bank license in Wyoming. So this is one of the world's first chartered crypto banks that exist, is an American San Francisco company because of Wyoming. Then Caitlin Long, the lady I mentioned at the early part, she's launched her own bank in Wyoming for custodial services so that institutional investors and Wall Streeters can actually park and custody safely their crypto with her bank called Avanti Bank. So, I mean, there's so much happening in this space. It's very, very exciting. There are loads of different projects to be participating in. But instead of me just going out there and buying a little bit of Ethereum, what would I have achieved? If I had a $10,000 maximum budget, I would have managed to buy 3 Ethereum, whoopee-doo. But here, the compensation plan is what changes everything. 10,000 in my own package. Now I can give people the confidence to say, I bought 10,000 of this stuff instead of Ethereum. And now people are listening. They're like, whoa, so what's so special about this? You get their attention, you then explain and let people draw their own conclusions, make their own decisions in their own time. I mean, my number one business partner, whom I wanted to be my right-hand man, I invited him in November, too busy. January, too busy. March, too busy. First week of August, this year he wakes up and he's like, and he's like, so how's it going with you? I'm like, dude, I've been basically, forgive my language, ladies, please forgive me. I'm not normally like this, but I wake up at 10 in the morning, farting in my bed, and I made 11 grand just basically by doing nothing. Why? Because I took July easy. He's like, oh, bloody hell. You made 11,000, what, sterling or dollars? I'm like, sterling. So that's more in dollars. So he's like, bloody hell, how'd you do that? I'm like, well, I told you, pay attention in November when you would have been my number one first recruit. And he's finally waking up now. So it takes time for some people. And some people have other things they're doing, so they can't take time off away from that. You can't force anyone. You can't really give them. You must never paint a picture of perfection either. This company is not perfect. I have my issues with this company. I have issues with it. I have problems in the way there has to be a better complaints procedure, for example, right? And to pretend that this is a perfectly well-oiled engine and doing everything amazingly well would be dishonest and would be a disservice to you. But I believe we have enough quality leaders in the front line. I mean, the multi-level marketing leaders, not the company officers. We have enough people here to exert an influence on the company officers to get things done and updated in the way we need them to be updated. A lot of the
excuse me, with your experience, do you plan to take any kind of leadership role? And because I know you don't like the B of A debit card, but do you plan to do anything to help bring somebody else in, like, the Kraken or any other bank?
No, we're already working on connecting the company with the right kind of third-party partners, but we're being a little bit careful. We don't want to just push something that, because see, all of this exercise takes time and energy. And you don't want to be spending hours and hours trying to negotiate between two parties when the thing isn't really going to work. So we have to carefully pick what kind of people to introduce, what kind of association the company would like to do. And at this point, I'm not able to do any of that because I don't fully understand yet what the company's own vision is. Does the owner of this company want to be one of the first or fastest multi-billionaires in the future? If so, then there's a few improvements I can suggest. But I can only suggest those improvements because I have the academic sort of angle to look at it. But if I had the capacity to do it myself, would I even be here? No, I don't have the capacity to do it myself. He had the 13 or whatever $1 million he spent on the project, on building these different legal entities, on putting the engineering teams together, on what we call the bleed rate. The bleed rate is basically the salaries you have to spend in a project before you start earning income. While you're building a project, you're literally bleeding money away as salary until it gets to a turnaround, a break-even point, and then after that, it's all profit. And the bleed rate is covered. So I don't know any of those details. And as a professional consultant for many other crypto projects, I wish I was with them 2 years ago. Then I might have considered taking up a corporate officer role. But as it stands, I just enjoy my independence too much. I would rather be answerable to regular people, which is my team, and they're not my team. I am their team. Yeah. I would rather deal with normal people from everyday life from across the world than have to answer to one person above me. So that I'm not.
You know, as they say, teamwork makes the dream work. And what you have shared today is very important, and I appreciate it. And I do think that we are in a historic time where we are laying the groundwork, and we are part of the groundwork being laid. And thank you for your insight, and hopefully you'll, continue to offer more. And thank you, Easy, for taking my question. And God bless you guys. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Yeah.
God bless you too. So with that, everybody, I hope you guys have enjoyed this presentation as much as I have. I can tell by the comments that many of you guys have. And I think I speak for all of us when I say, Prem, kudos to you, brother. You are more than welcome to come back on this platform again and present at another time of your choosing. I know that it's late there. It's not even late anymore. It's getting early where you are.
It's 4:15 in the morning.
4:15 in the morning, brother. That's commitment, guys. That's commitment. So with that level of commitment, there's no doubt in my mind that when they start reading off the list of those people that help make this good company a great one, Prem's name is going to be at the top or towards the top of that list. And with that, everybody, I'm going to say good night to you all and allow you to unmute yourselves and say good night to everybody else on this WCL family. And we will see you guys all at the top.
Thanks, Prem.
Good night. Good
Good
night,
night, everybody.
Prem.
Night,
Thanks.
Prem.
Good night, everybody.
Good night,
Good
Easy.
night, everybody. Good night.
Fantastic
God
presentation.
Carla with a K.
Carla
Hey,
with the C.
hey,
Goodbye, Carla with a K.
Good night,
Bye,
Joe.
Carla with a K.
Good night.
Bye.
Thank you, Prem.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Fantastic, Prem.
Good night.
Great job,
Good night,
Prem.
everyone. Good
job.
night.
Appreciate you. Appreciate you.